Hey folks, good morning and welcome to this episode of Out on the Road. Today we're going to be riding Honda's 2025 CRF300L Rally. This is an entry-level ADV bike from American Honda. Let's check it out. All right, everyone, there it is, Honda's CRF300L Rally. Look at this thing. This motorcycle is certainly a looker. Look at that 286cc engine. Dual overhead camshaft, liquid cooled. Honda says it's good for 27 horsepower, but we say it's good for 22 horsepower. At the business end of that IRC 18-inch rear wheel, look at this thing. This thing just looks totally awesome. It's got a big 3.4 gallon tank, which you might think is kind of small, but considering this thing gets, that's right, 50.3 mpg, this fuel tank is plenty capable of getting you to where you need to be. Of course, this bike has real Dakar rally style styling with this twin LED headlight and that vertical stacked instrument panel. Well, everyone, enough talking about this thing. Let's swing a leg over it and see what it's like to ride. This episode of Garage Talk is supported by Ogio and its modular tank ring motorcycle storage system. The tank ring is really easy to install on Honda street bikes and can be paired with Ogio's S2 fixed 4-liter tank bag for a really slick and affordable storage solution. Now back to the episode. Well, folks, good morning and welcome to this episode of Out on the Road. Today we're riding Honda's 2025 CRF300L Rally. This is a very affordable, lightweight adventure bike from American Honda. However, this particular motorcycle is made out of Honda's Thailand factory. Now, right away, we talked about the styling of this bike. It's absolutely a terrific looking bike that looks like a full-size real adventure bike. Now, sitting on this bike, the thing I like about it is how slim it is between the rider's legs. Not only is it really slim between the rider's legs, but the seat height is really low. And not only is the seat height really low, but the seat's actually really comfortable. It's wide enough to support your rear end, yet still doesn't feel like a total street bike. It still has some ADV vibes, which is really nice. The foot pegs, they're not the biggest, but they're not the smallest, but they're in a good location for a nice knee bend. And this handlebar, while it's a little bit cheap in its steel construction, it works good. It has a good bend, something you can always swap out, and you can always move the position of the handlebar really easy with these 10mm Allen bolts. Also really like this windscreen. It again fits the ADV vibes with that vertical mount, and you also have a little mounting points where you can put some accessories if you want. This LCD display, which we'll get to in a little bit, this doesn't really fit the modern ADV vibe. Nowadays they're putting vertical TFT displays. This thing's still horizontal, obviously, whatever ratio that is, probably 16:7, but still neat, functional, gets the job done. Now this bike's powered by Honda's 286cc dual overhead cam water-cooled single-cylinder engine. It's worth noting that this engine differs from Honda's bigger engines with dual overhead camshaft design. Of course, the XL750 Transalp and the CRF1000L Africa Twin uses a unicam overhead cam setup, just like Honda's CRF450R. But these 250cc motorcycles get a pair of camshafts, which is kind of cool. This engine is good for right around 22 horsepower at the business end of that 18-inch rear tire, but Honda claims 27 horsepower, but really it's 22. Let's give this thing the berries right now. Oh, the thing's got some vibration. You definitely feel vibration through the handlebar and the foot pegs, but I wouldn't say it's off-putting. Kind of par for the course for a $6,500 motorcycle. That's right, folks. You get all this motorcycle for only $6,500. That's a lot of bike and a lot of aesthetic and beauty for sure for that price. Of course, we got a 6-speed transmission and a wet cable actuated clutch right here. All in all, pretty easy package to live with. I like how the clutch is nice and light. Again, if you were a new rider, you're going to really like this bike, because not only is the seat height really low, not only is it pretty lightweight at only 335 pounds with a full tank of gas, but the clutch pull is nice and light too. So this is an easy bike to get out on the road or the trail. Now, this engine has a decent amount of character. It makes some good noise. Doesn't really get you anywhere in a hurry, but perfectly capable of accelerating to freeway speeds. We've gotten this bike up to nearly 90 miles per hour, so certainly capable of freeway plus speeds, and still delivers, look at that, 50 miles per gallon. Isn't that crazy? This bike certainly sips the fuel, 50 miles per gallon. That gives you a range of over 200 miles considering the 3.4 gallon capacity of the fuel tank. And that's really nice. It's cool to have a motorcycle that you can actually ride without always constantly having to worry about filling up. Of course, if this was a full-size multi-cylinder bike, 3.4 gallons wouldn't quite be enough, but for this application it is plenty of fuel. Suspension wise, we've got an inverted 43 millimeter fork and a linkage equipped shock. The suspension has no adjustment aside from shock preload adjustment, that ramp style preload adjuster. 9 inches suspension travel front and back. This motorcycle is definitely orientated for a lighter person. If you're 150 pounds, this bike's going to be good for you. If you're over 150 pounds, you're going to be too heavy for the spring rate of this motorcycle. You can really see when someone's sitting on it how sacked out that shock is, which is fine for normal street bike riding, but when you start riding off-road, this thing can beat you up a little bit over the bumps and rough stuff out on trail. But if you're a 150 pound rider, you're going to like the suspension. It works really good. If you're a little bit heavier, you're going to want a respring. Again, this motorcycle is designed for all you novices and lightweights out there. Not saying you can't be a more experienced rider and buy this bike, you totally can, but it is set up for someone who's looking for a more mellow motorcycle. What's up, construction dude? 335 pounds. We talked about the weight of this thing. Pretty lightweight. That certainly doesn't feel heavy. Yes, you twisty pavement. Yes. I like it. This thing rolls on a 21-inch front, 18-inch rear spoked aluminum wheel with hybrid 50/50 street and off-road tires, which work really good actually work really good on the road. Again, this motorcycle only has 22 horsepower at the tire, so it's nothing crazy in the power department, but these tires have plenty of grip to handle that. And even off-road, this bike works decently well. We talked about the suspension. It's definitely undersprung, but still capable off-road. In terms of braking, we got dual hydraulic disc brakes. One disc brake up front, one in the rear. And the brakes do a good job of shedding speed. We also have fixed ABS. However, you can turn off ABS by pushing this button. The vehicle has to be stopped though. And this really helps for riding off-road. One thing you're going to notice when you're riding this bike off-road is just the softish spring rate really combined with the ABS to this bike. You really have to be aware of when you're applying the brakes. You have to apply the brakes early and ahead of time because the spring rate is so soft. If you're more of an aggressive rider, you start using the front brake and the ABS starts activating and you stop slowing down. So something to be aware of. Again, this bike looks like a full-size real rally style ADV, but it is a beginner ADV bike, which is totally okay. It's cool that you can get a motorcycle that looks this awesome and is this easy to ride and this practical and capable for $6,500. Now, while the suspension is undersprung, it actually works really good on the road. It dampens, it quells the road imperfections, and generally delivers a nice ride, which we like. Very maneuverable too. This windscreen does an okay job of blocking the elements. I certainly wouldn't want to be riding this motorcycle on the freeway for hours on end. But for a little bit of highway and freeway duty, totally capable. And again, the silhouette of this just fits the whole ADV culture. Makes you look like a real ADV rider, even if some of your friends on big bikes might laugh at you. No, just joking. No one's going to make fun of you for riding this bike. It's worth noting that this bike also has really nice bright LED headlamps. You can see the heat sinks that keep those LEDs cool. LED turn signals. And the lighting package on this bike's terrific. It really does a great job of lighting up the road after dark, which we're going to start showing you in future episodes. And all in all, a really capable package for $6,500. Now, of course, we rode this motorcycle off-road. We're not going to ride it live in this episode, but we rode it off-road at one of our favorite proving grounds up in the mountains. And this motorcycle is super capable. Again, if you are the kind of rider who wants to go fast, this bike is not for you. If you're the kind of rider who just wants to cruise, take in the sights and sounds, have a really easy bike to ride off-road, this thing's it. But if you're looking to get anywhere in a hurry off-road, this bike's not it. It's also not it too if you're going to be riding rough terrain. When I mean rough terrain, I mean like whoops and holes and rocks and stuff like that. This bike just doesn't have it. It can get up and over it if you ride it carefully, but it's not designed for that type of terrain. But for general purpose, light duty off-road, this bike is totally fun and capable. Well, everyone, we covered the ergonomics. Super comfortable for a 6-foot-tall rider. We covered the suspension, softest spring rate, but still capable, especially on the road. Does a good job of filtering out the imperfections. We talked about the engine, 22 horsepower, freeway capable, goes up to 90 miles per hour and still delivers 50.1 mpg with a 3.4 gallon fuel tank. Talked about the headlight. We talked about the fact that this motorcycle is made in Thailand but still carries a 1-year warranty. And the fit and finish on this motorcycle, you would never be able to tell that this motorcycle is made in Thailand. Super well put together. Worth noting that we did ride this motorcycle off-road, but we'll just give you a little glimpse of what it's like to ride on this 2-track. The ergonomics in the standing position are really nice. This bike is easy to squeeze with your legs. There's a good amount of room for the inside of your legs to squeeze the bike, yet the exhaust isn't in the way. That gives you good control. The handlebar isn't too low, it's not too high, and it feels pretty light. This 2-track fire road that's relatively smooth is really where this CRF300L Rally is home. When it gets a little chunkier, that is when you might have a little bit more difficulty riding. Again, that ABS comes in really early, so you got to make sure you really slow down a little bit ahead of time. But all in all, for a simple 2-track, I'd say the CRF300L Rally is quite good. Speed 70 miles per hour in top gear at 7,000 RPM, and we'd be lying if we didn't say this engine is definitely working right now, but still capable of freeway plus speeds. There is a certain amount, a decent amount of vibration through the seat, handlebar, and the foot pegs, but again, it's not off-putting, but we would be lying to say this engine is not working hard right now. Still, for small highway application and short freeway stints, I think this motorcycle is capable, but we would want to be spending a lot of time on the freeway. If we were, we'd probably opt for a bigger bike like the XL750 Transalp or Honda's Africa Twin, which are actually really good at highway speeds. Yes, some twisty pavement in the CRF300L Rally is quite capable, nice and light, actually really fun to ride despite the off-road oriented 21-inch front, 18-inch rear wheels. It's worth noting that if you're going to ride this motorcycle more on the pavement, a lot of motorcycle manufacturers, including Dunlop and Bridgestone, offer really good on-road pavement in 21-inch, 18-inch sizes, so you no longer have to get off-road wheel sizes to have good street bike rubber. I know it sounds strange, but you can do that in today's day and age. Alright, now it's time to wrap things up. We'll see you folks in a little bit.
Well, everyone, that wraps up our official review of Honda's 2025 CRF300L Rally. Really like this motorcycle. Obviously, it looks super tasty, and it's really easy to ride. Yeah, the performance isn't up to spec as a middleweight or heavyweight adventure touring bike, but that's okay. If you're looking for something that's really not intimidating, affordable, and easy to ride, you're really gonna like this motorcycle. It's comfortable, it's more than capable off-road. Of course, you have to ride it very gently and mellowly, but it'll get you of course, you have to ride it a little bit more gently, but it'll get you to where you need to be, and it's still pretty good on road. Well, everyone, that wraps up our official review. Make sure to surf on over to moto-1.com like we are #1 for our write-up on this bike and others like it, including Honda's XL750 Transalp and Africa Twin, and many other motorcycles coming soon to that website. And as always, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and sound off in the comment section. What do you think of this CRF300L Rally? And check out our exclusive In the Garage episode for more added details on this bike. And we'll see you in the next episode.